We've only retrieved 20% of our total collection, and it's at a point where we are very concerned about the balance, the 80% that remains in the 70 Mulberry building. That's because they've already deemed the building very unsafe to re-enter. From my understanding, and we're still in that wait-and-see mode, they're hand demolishing the building.
Wow, and of this 20%, what do they mean to Chinese families? What items are we talking about exactly, and how badly are they damaged?
We have 85,000 items in our collections, and I think one moment of pride I had in this whole salvaging process in the last few weeks is that people really saw the professionalism of our collection. Even 40 years ago, when we began collecting photo albums and traditional Chinese dresses, boat passage tickets, the items that we're able to extract out, I think about, I would say, a total of about 15% of our collection is in good salvageable condition right now. They're priceless. They are not replaceable, so that's really one that has been a mourning process for our team, for the fear of thinking about losing these items. There are collections, one from a famous photojournalist in New York City in the 1930s, 40s, and 50s, Emile Beauchamp. We have 120,000 of his photographs detailing Chinese-American life. But really, one needs to recall that the Chinese in America were excluded from 1882 until, for all intents and purposes, 1965. So the lives that they led in America were stories that were not told. And that's really what our collections celebrates and tries to really unfold for other groups, especially in this day and age when we're looking at issues around immigration that are so drastically painful and reminiscent of the history. I will say we have been moving very quickly because the collections that we do have, and if we're able to obtain any of the balance, the other 80% that remains in the building, we are securing space right now. And what we're trying to do is create opportunities around this tragedy, so recovering and repairing it. Working with young museum studies students in New York City and other places that can really take this unfortunate event and try to build off it. And then also there have been so many families who have reached out to us and said, we would love to contribute our family heirlooms and components to help rebuild the museum.
What's been the hardest part about this entire process?
In all honesty, small culturals like the Museum of Chinese in America, we have an annual operating budget of $3 million. And yet we're the largest institution that does the work that we do. We serve 50,000 people who come through the door every day. We want a permanence around who we are and what we're doing. But when you're operating at such a small operational budget, it's very hard to conceive of that in a way that's going to be sustainable. So we really need to have a permanent home, and that's, I think, the hardest part. When I talk to other advisors and guidance around this topic, they said, oh, well, talk to this institution and that institution. When talking with them, they didn't know what the repair budget was because they had an incredibly large insurance policy, or cost wasn't an issue. But small culturals have this really difficult decision-making. Are we going to survive, or are we going to salvage our collection? But then if we do, what is the toss-up here? Repairing and recovering artifacts, old documents, photographs, negatives, multimedia. We had some estimates coming back at just one negative was $1 per negative. I have 120,000 negatives in one collection. So it's very daunting to do the math in the back of the envelope on preserving this.
I know you're going to do your best to repair and restore some of these relics. We really appreciate your time.
And it's the entire team at the museum. And we're still open for business, so please come by and visit with us. Our collections are just under repair, and hopefully we'll salvage the balance. But thank you so much.